Amid the deserts and hills of the Middle East, there lies a sacred land of profound contrasts. The legendary Holy Land, a place where springs emerge from ancient stones and the vast, silent sky carries the weight of 1,000 prayers. In this documentary, we invite you to explore the most incredible destinations in Israel and Palestine, a fusion of wild landscapes and ancient traditions. At the heart of this land lies Jerusalem, one of the most revered and complex cities in the world. Its name is associated with the idea of peace, yet throughout the centuries, it has been conquered more than 40 times, destroyed and rebuilt again and again. Jerusalem carries both scars and glory. It was around 1000 BC when King David made Jerusalem the capital of Israel. His son Solomon built the first temple on the site we now call the Temple Mount, a sacred place considered a bridge between heaven and earth. Now imagine a people who, with tremendous effort, built a magnificent temple that seemed to almost touch the sky, only to watch it reduced to ashes by the flames of war a short time later. In 586 BC, that is exactly what happened. The Babylonians destroyed the temple in Jerusalem and sent the Jewish people into exile. Centuries later, under Persian rule, the Jews returned and built a second temple, even greater than the first. This temple became the heart of the Jewish faith, until it was once again destroyed by the Romans in AD 70, following a revolt. All that remained was a portion of its outer wall. For centuries, even while scattered across the world, Jews have returned to this place to pray, to mourn, and to keep alive their connection with the sacred. Many know it as the Wailing Wall, but for the Jewish people, it has always been a symbol of resilience and faith. At a time when Jerusalem was filled with tension and hope, few dared to dream. Then a voice began to echo through its dusty streets, a voice that would change the destiny of humanity. Jesus of Nazareth. With words of love, compassion, and forgiveness, he touched the hearts of many. But his message also challenged the established powers, and because of this, his voice awakened opposition. Jesus was arrested, put on trial, and forced to carry his cross through the streets of the city. It was on top of a hill called Golgotha where his journey came to an end. I was crucified between two other men. 3 days later, his disciples saw that he had risen. That moment not only transformed the faith of those who followed him, but forever changed the course of human history. The place where Jesus is believed to have been crucified and buried became the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Inside this church, the atmosphere is wrapped in silence. Pilgrims approach the stone of anointing, kneel, and touch the place where, according to tradition, his body was prepared for burial. Nearby, on top of Mount Zion, stands the upper room, a modest chamber filled with profound meaning. It is here that the Last Supper is traditionally believed to have taken place, Jesus' final gathering with his disciples before his arrest. It was a moment of intimacy and revelation that still resonates today in Christian liturgy and memory. In AD 638, the city witnessed the arrival of Muslim armies, marking the beginning of a new spiritual era. In Jerusalem, according to Islamic tradition, it was from Jerusalem that the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven on a divine journey, departing from a sacred rock on the Temple Mount. To commemorate this heavenly event, one of the world's most iconic monuments was erected, the Dome of the Rock. Its golden dome shines above the old city like a beacon of faith, visible from nearly every corner of Jerusalem. And just as its dome rises toward the heavens, the streets of the old city wind their way between stones that carry centuries of devotion and sacred encounters. Today, Jerusalem's old city stands as an intricate mosaic of cultures and religions. It is divided into 4 distinct quarters: the Jewish quarter, home to the Western Wall and historic synagogues; the Christian quarter, where the Church of the Holy Sepulchre marks one of the holiest sites in Christianity; the Muslim quarter, the largest of all, filled with vibrant markets and centuries-old mosques; and the Armenian quarter, a close-knit community proud of an identity preserved for centuries. Each quarter holds traditions, stories, and symbols that have shaped the destiny of the city. Located east of the Old City, the Mount of Olives is one of the most sacred places in the world. Since ancient times, it has been home to a Jewish cemetery with more than 150,000 graves facing Jerusalem, symbolizing the hope of resurrection. For Christians, the Mount was the setting for crucial moments in the life of Jesus, including the Garden of Gethsemane, the Church of All Nations, and the Chapel of the Ascension, associated with his ascension into heaven. In Islam, the Mount is associated with the Day of Judgment, when a bridge is believed to appear that will lead the righteous to paradise. Beyond its religious significance, the mount offers a spectacular view of the Old City, with the Dome of the Rock and Jerusalem's golden-colored walls standing prominently in the landscape. In the 20th century, Jerusalem ceased to be only a spiritual symbol and also became an epicenter of global political tensions. The creation of the State of Israel in 1948 reignited ancient disputes, especially over the control and significance of the city. Since then, Jerusalem has remained at the heart of the identity and aspirations of two peoples, Israelis and Palestinians. For many Jews, the hope of a future Third Temple remains alive. For Muslims, the Temple Mount, known in Islam as Haram al-Sharif, is home to two of Islam's most sacred sites, making it an inviolably holy place. But beyond the walls, in the stillness of the Palestinian hills, a birth would change the destiny of humanity. This small city holds a great history. It was here that King David was born, and according to the sacred texts, it was from here that the Savior would come. For Christians, Jesus Christ. That is why Bethlehem is home to one of the most revered shrines of the Christian faith, the Church of the Nativity. Built in the 4th century by order of Emperor Constantine, it was erected over the grotto where, according to tradition, Jesus was born. Today, in addition to its historic altar, it contains a 14-pointed silver star marking the traditional site of Christ's birth. But Bethlehem does not live solely through its biblical heritage. The city pulses with Palestinian culture, still alive in its intricate olive wood carvings and traditional embroidery, rich with history and identity. Yet it is on the gray walls erected amid the conflict between Israel and Palestine that the city finds its most unexpected voice. Banksy is a renowned British artist whose true identity remains a mystery. Using the walls of the West Bank as his canvas, particularly around Bethlehem, he has transformed concrete barriers into powerful symbols of resistance. Among his most iconic works are the protester throwing flowers, the young girl searching a soldier, and the dove wearing a bulletproof vest. Works that question violence, occupation, and the longing for freedom. With humor and poetry, he criticizes the violence and injustices of the region. Banksy also created the Walled-Off Hotel, a hotel built right beside the Israeli separation barrier. The hotel became famous for deliberately offering what it called the worst view in the world, with the aim of confronting visitors with the difficult reality of life in the area. And so, in Bethlehem, even the walls seem to dream of a future of freedom. We now set out toward the Judean Desert, moving through a landscape of dry hills and deep valleys, where silence has shaped sanctuaries of faith among rocks and cliffs. Nestled into the cliffs of the Judean Desert, the Monastery of Mar Saba is a historic treasure of the Christian faith. Located in the West Bank, about 9 miles from Bethlehem, it was founded in AD 483 by Saint Sabas, a monk revered as a saint by the Greek Orthodox Church of Jerusalem. Its architecture, carved into the rocky hillside, blends into the desert landscape, creating an almost surreal sight. Mar Saba was built to provide complete isolation for monks seeking a life of prayer, penance, and contemplation far from the cities. Despite centuries of hardship, Mar Saba has maintained its religious life, keeping alive a monastic tradition that stretches back more than 1,500 years. Even today, its austere way of life preserves ancient practices, including restrictions on women entering the monastery, who can only admire its imposing beauty from outside. This place stands as a living testament to the endurance of faith amid the harsh conditions of the desert, and one of the most iconic places for those seeking to understand the spiritual history of the Holy Land. And while silence shaped sanctuaries of faith like Mar Saba, farther into the desert, something even older was emerging. The seed of human civilization. Continuously inhabited for more than 10,000 years, Jericho was the setting for crucial innovations, such as the development of agriculture and the construction of some of the earliest stone fortifications. Its soil holds layer upon layer of civilizations, each one built upon the remains of the one before it, weaving an uninterrupted story that still resonates today. The walls of Jericho, built around 8,000 years ago, are among the oldest defensive structures ever discovered by archaeologists. According to biblical tradition, its walls collapsed at the sound of trumpets under the leadership of Joshua, allowing the Israelites to conquer Canaan. In the Gospels, Jericho appears as the setting for two significant encounters. Jesus restored the sight of a blind man at the gates of the city and transformed the life of Zacchaeus, a tax collector who climbed a tree, to to see him passing by. But how has this city survived for thousands of years in the middle of such an arid desert? The answer lies in its natural secret: water. Jericho is an oasis where life flourishes even in the midst of extreme dryness. Natural water sources such as Elisha's spring, combined with ancient irrigation practices, have sustained the city for thousands of years. An enduring miracle of resilience in the heart of a dry land. But Jericho is not only a miracle of human history. Around this unlikely oasis, within the vast silence of the Judean Desert, wildlife has also found its own ways to survive and thrive. Imagine golden cliffs beneath the scorching sun. There, along the edges of the rocks, the Nubian ibex defies gravity, with hooves specially adapted to grip even the smallest ridges in the stone. These magnificent wild goats climb sheer cliffs as if they were walking on level ground. Few people know that they can leap more than 6 feet into the air, a vital ability for escaping predators and surviving in such unforgiving terrain. When the heat of the day fades and night covers the desert with its cold blanket, the barn owl awakens. Its pale plumage blends with the light-colored desert sand beneath the starlight. And there is one fascinating detail. Its wings are structured in such a way that they reduce the sound of flight to almost complete silence, allowing it to approach its prey without being detected. With sharp eyes and exceptional hearing, it can detect the slightest movement on the ground. It is a patient hunter, and in the desert, patience is one of the keys to survival. When the first rays of sunlight touch, the desert rocks. Another figure appears in the sky, the Egyptian vulture, small, agile, and far more intelligent than its appearance might suggest. Unlike many other vultures, it is one of the few animals on the planet known to use tools. Using carefully selected stones, it breaks open ostrich eggs to feed, a remarkable scene that few human eyes have ever witnessed. In a world where only the most clever and resilient can thrive, the desert becomes the ultimate test of survival. There are landscapes that seem to challenge the very logic of human existence, and the Negev Desert, near the Dead Sea, is one of them. Despite its barren and inhospitable appearance, this territory has served as a refuge for resilient civilizations that flourished where few would dare to remain. From nomadic tribes and Nabatean traders to miners from ancient Egypt, Christian pilgrims, and modern adventurers, survival here has always been a matter of adaptation and creativity. Amid the brutal heat of the Negev, an unexpected animal appears, seemingly defying the very logic of the desert with speed and ferocity: the caracal. At the slightest sign of movement, it launches itself like a compressed spring. It can leap more than 10 feet into the air, catching birds in mid-flight as though defying gravity itself. Its powerful hind muscles, tense like bows ready to release an arrow, are weapons of survival in a landscape that punishes any hesitation. And when we look upward, the desert also reveals predators that come from the sky. The peregrine falcon, master of the fastest dive in the animal kingdom, plunges from the heavens at more than 186 miles per hour. A winged bolt, silent and deadly. Its eyes can detect movement from great distances, and its wings fold back like blades cutting through the air. It reigns supreme. Even gravity itself seems to bend to its extraordinary precision. But not all survival requires speed or strength. Some creatures have conquered the desert through strategy and transformation. This is the case of the common chameleon, a master of adaptation that challenges everything we think we know about camouflage. Contrary to what many people believe, it does not change color only to hide. It communicates through its skin. Lighter shades help reflect heat, while darker shades help absorb the sun's warmth in the morning. And its eyes are like true watchtowers. Each eye can focus in a different direction at the same time, allowing the chameleon to locate prey while keeping watch for predators. With a tongue faster than the blink of an eye, the chameleon captures insects from astonishing distances, a lethal extension of its own body. Every creature in the desert is living proof that, even in the most inhospitable environment, nature does not merely survive. It pushes the limits of what seems possible. Now, can you imagine floating effortlessly on the waters of a lake where almost nothing can survive? A place where the water stings your eyes, yet is famous for its mineral-rich mud and waters? It may sound strange, but this is where it happens. At approximately 430 meters below sea level lies the lowest exposed land elevation on Earth, the Dead Sea. Although it is called a sea, it is actually an extremely salty lake. with a salt concentration roughly 10 times greater than that of the oceans. This characteristic makes it extremely hostile to most forms of life, yet fascinating in the story of human civilization. For thousands of years, it has been a place associated with mystery, healing, and reverence. The ancient Egyptians used minerals and bitumen from the Dead Sea region in mummification practices, while historical traditions tell us that Cleopatra valued the area's resources for beauty treatments, including its mineral-rich salts and mud. King Herod, meanwhile, recognizing the unique value of this landscape, built magnificent palaces near its shores. Today, travelers from around the world come to the Dead Sea seeking its famous mineral-rich waters. They float effortlessly in its dense water and cover themselves in dark, mineral-rich mud, all while surrounded by a surreal landscape that seems almost like a dream. For thousands of years, the Jordan River supplied the Dead Sea with water. But beginning in the 1960s, Israel, Jordan, and Syria began diverting much of the river's flow to supply cities and agricultural areas. Today, only a small fraction of the water that once reached the Dead Sea continues to flow into it. Without sufficient replenishment and with intense evaporation, the lake's water level has been dropping by more than 1 meter per year. As the level of the Dead Sea continues to fall, enormous holes appear in the ground, known as sinkholes. The ground suddenly collapses, forming craters that can swallow roads, farmland, and even buildings. If this process continues unchecked, within a few decades, the Dead Sea could shrink dramatically, leaving behind smaller, isolated bodies of water, and the landscape we know today could become little more than a memory. For now, the Dead Sea endures, a silent witness to the passage of time. Its still waters hold fragments of an age when mighty rivers fed this basin and cities flourished along its shores. Today, it reflects the sky like a forgotten mirror, a silent reminder that here the rules that seem to govern the world surrender to ancient and invisible forces shaped by fire, earth, and the memory of the past. Now imagine yourself trapped on top of a rocky mountain, staring toward the horizon as thousands of enemy soldiers advance without mercy. There is no escape, no reinforcements are coming. Only two choices remain: freedom or submission. That was the choice faced by nearly 1,000 Jewish men, women, and children almost 2,000 years ago. It is here, in the scorching heart of the Judean Desert, overlooking the Dead Sea, that the story of Masada rises as a powerful symbol of resistance. Built in the 1st century BC by King Herod, Masada was an isolated, nearly impregnable fortress, complete with palaces, storehouses, and cisterns carved into the rock to withstand a prolonged siege. But it was during the first Jewish revolt against Rome that Masada became the setting for one of the most dramatic episodes in ancient history. There, around 960 Jewish rebels and their families, surrounded by the forces of the mighty Roman Empire, faced an extreme decision. According to the account of the ancient historian Josephus, they chose death rather than enslavement, an event that would eventually turn Masada into a powerful symbol of resistance and freedom. Today, walking among the ruins of this fortress, especially at sunrise, feels like stepping directly into the living pages of one of the most dramatic chapters of ancient history. Continuing south, the desert begins to curve and ripple before our eyes. Then suddenly an almost surreal landscape opens before us. Makhtesh Ramon, a colossal geological formation, approximately 40 kilometers long and up to 10 kilometers wide. It was carved neither by the fury of a volcano, nor by the violent impact of a meteorite. A Makhtesh is something even rarer, a masterpiece of erosion, a remarkable geological phenomenon found primarily in this region of the world. And so, we come to the end of our incredible journey through Israel and Palestine. If you enjoyed this video and were amazed by the wonders we explored together, give it a like and help our channel grow. Thank you, and have a wonderful journey.